Welcome everybody to another Dinner with the Girls, where we talk about healthy food, we come together, we share a meal, we talk about how it can be different and still healthy. So any of you out there, please feel free to eat with us. Grab your food and have dinner with the girls.
Absolutely.
So today we're talking about sandwiches, which, sandwiches are a guilty pleasure of mine. I just want to say, this girl is a sandwich lover, and I've grown up on sandwiches. So I'm really glad that we're talking about this topic and that we're going to share some different sandwich ideas. You can see I've got a lovely egg salad sandwich here with some really yummy pickles, which I'll talk about in a bit. But I want to hear about what you've got today.
I know mine looks less traditional, but don't be fooled. I love me the traditional sandwich. Like you, I also grew up on traditional sandwiches. These days I favor wraps, but don't get me wrong, guys, I literally do make sandwiches as well. But I want to talk a little bit about this wrap here and why I favor wraps a little bit more and why there is no lunch meat in my sandwich. So obviously by this point, we know that I personally am a plant-based eater. So it's not surprising that I don't have meat in my sandwich. But did you even know, I was such a fast food junkie, Yaz, that even subs and sandwiches back in the day, I was like, I don't want that. Because I wanted McDonald's 24/7. So even sandwiches, right? Sandwiches were healthy, and they can be, we're showing that, but the not so healthy sandwiches were even too healthy for me, insanity.
I'm glad you brought that up. I just want to interrupt. I'm glad you brought that up because I totally remember that for myself, that the sandwich was the healthier choice. And you gotta know, I used to love me an assorted sub with all that meat piled up, and then you throw on the veggies, which was mostly pickles for me. But anyways.
I was a little bit of iceberg lettuce. I'm just a pinch of lettuce. That's
right,
all.
Right. So thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that.
No, for sure. Absolutely. So let's go back to that. So then when I started to eat healthier, and before I wanted to become a holistic nutritionist and all of that, just I wanted to maybe lose some weight or make a better choice, I started discovering Subway, Mr. Sub. And then of course I grew up on sandwiches from my mom with the cracked wheat bread. I can still see it. Let's not even go there. Usually with a lunch meat always, the lunch meat that we always used to have, dude, the bologna one with the mac and cheese in it.
Too. I remember the mac and cheese, and when it was cut, you could see the cheese and the macaroni, and I never even thought what is that? I was
why was it orange on the outside? The outside was fluorescent orange. I don't know. Yes. So I had me a lot of lunch meats growing up from my mom, and then later on, you, I started to discover Subway, Mr. Sub. Anyways, meat. Lunch meat. I only really have one short thing to say about lunch meat before I talk about my non-lunch meat here. I'm sure you guys have heard of this. I know you have, Yaz. Nitrates. Nitrates are naturally occurring compounds that are carcinogens, and they are found in lunch meats. This is not hidden information. You can all Google it right now. I'll wait for you. Take out your phone, give us a pause, Google it or whatever. This is real, and it's not hidden that they're also classified as carcinogens. So lunch meats are huge for it. Bacon is another one. And what is a carcinogen? Yasmin? Dr. Yasmin, can you please tell us all what a carcinogen is?
It's a compound that is known to cause cancer. It changes the cells in your body to cancer. So it's a big deal.
I agree. Thank you for that. And it is a big deal. So I think, we've talked about so many things, how you can, have healthier versions of something. Today, I'm going to say that I choose not to eat lunch meat because I don't have a healthier version to offer you guys. And yes, you're going to probably say, what about the natural selections or the PC free from or whatever? I'm not saying there aren't better choices, but in my opinion, there's no good choice. And I'm okay to have phased it out but I ate my fair share of lunch meat. So today, instead of lunch meat, I have my chickpea salad wrap.
Yum. Can I just say that looks amazing?
Thank you. I can't wait to eat it. I'm starving. So super simple, guys. It is actually on my TLC community, and it's really just a substitute for that, tuna salad or, that kind of mayo-y lunch meat kind of thing. Super simple, loaded with fiber. All it is chickpeas in there. We have some celery, pickles, of course. I see those pickles on your plate.
Right.
And almonds. I do this I can fish one out. It's going to be covered in whatever, but literally whole almonds. I roast them in the air fryer. I season them. So you get this naturally salty crunch in between the pickle tartness and the mayo, the vegan mayo that I use. And it's amazing. And I wrap it up with a ton of greens, all in a rice wrap. And I promise you guys, the wrapping is not as complicated as it seems. You learned, Yas, right?
I learned. I watched your video. I've been doing the wrap is so much easier. I've taught my husband. He can wrap now. So yes, you can do it. It's not too hard.
It's not too hard. I'll link the video below. It looks daunting. When I started rice wrapping, it was a nightmare. You'd just pick it up and everything was down, and then you were just sad, right?
Right? Yeah. Totally.
So I like the rice wraps, not because I don't eat bread, because I eat bread. They're just a bit lighter, and I feel like I can get more of the nutrient dense stuff in here, right? So much more fiber, so much more plant-based protein, my veggies, etc. And but also really great on bread. So this is my sandwich for today. It's very comforting. I honestly was out of vegan cheese because I've been away, but I would definitely throw some in there as well, just so you guys know.
Nice.
Well, yeah,
I just want to share that I've made your chickpea salad, not with the almonds though. I've got to try that. Mm-hmm. Super easy, totally satisfying. And I love that you can wrap it pretty tight because then it travels pretty good.
This is my go-to for beaches, you know what I mean? Picnics, etc. Because exactly, it's so easy. You just kind of one-hand it. So I'm hungry talking about mine. I want to eat mine, but I want to learn more about yours and kind of your journey. If you were a sandwich queen and you were like me, and the Mr. Subs were the healthier version, but you still had them, were you having a ton of meats as well? What's the story?
Yeah, absolutely. Always the sandwich had meat. And I don't know if anybody remembers their parents, my mom used to fry bologna. Fried bologna sandwiches were a thing at my house. So absolutely meat all the way. And also in my health, the carcinogen thing, when I learned about it at naturopathic school, there's so much information about it. It's just a hard no for me. I chose to give up the lunch meat because you really can't find good ones. Maybe you can find a nitrite free, but I still kind of question, is it? And how healthy is it? And it's got to be preserved somehow. So it's.
Sorry, can I just interrupt for 1 second? Regardless, sorry guys, 5 lettuce in my teeth. Yeah. Regardless, it's highly processed, and we should all be really trying to stay away from highly processed food. So I'm not preaching no meat, but I am preaching, please don't have extremely processed foods, whether they're nitrate free or not. Do your best to limit them. So
Right. So, for me, I gave it up. And the vegan alternatives out there, some of them are weird tasting. It's man, it's not the bologna that I remember.
And also highly processed. We think about our burger video, Beyond Impossible. It's plant-based. It's still processed highly. So,
right? So, in my family, who still really loves meat, they'll make a roast and, carve it and put it on the bread. And that's an option, but for me, that is just not part of my lifestyle. So if I'm going to have a sandwich now, I way rather put a whole food, real food in it, and egg salad. You can't go wrong with that. Especially when you get pasture raised eggs. That is the key, because pasture raised eggs It means that the chicken got to run around in the pasture and eat its natural diet, which is, some plants, some worms, bugs. And you can tell when it's a pasture-raised egg because the yolk is really bright yellow. No dull, kind of dusty
Orange.
Yellow. It's bright. So that's how you know you're going to get some good healthy fat, some B12 in there too. So that's what I choose for myself. Today I've got bread. You know what? Sometimes just want to eat some bread. So again, I try to pick a better one. So I grabbed this bread at see if I can show it to you guys at Goodness Me. And it is a fermented bread.
Oh, love it.
Right? I find when I eat this kind of bread, it doesn't bother my tummy. It is all non-GMO ingredients, and fermented makes it easier to digest. So I can feel good about the bread. And it's funny enough, I like to use vegan mayo. So even though, it's not a vegan meal, I like the healthier mayo so that I know it's made with avocado oil. So it's going to be a healthier thing. And it's just, I just make it the old fashioned way. I put in, a couple of green onions, slap some lettuce on there. And then I just want to take a moment to talk about my pickles.
Yes.
Pickles, these guys, they're fermented. They, so it means, it's going to be a lot healthier on the gut, and I can feel really good about the pickles too. So that's my sandwich today. And looking at it, I'm also starving, and I want to dive in and just have at least a bite of this pickle.
Yeah, so I wanted to say, absolutely. I use the same pickles as you. And I love how you talk about, even though you're having an egg salad sandwich, it doesn't mean that you have to use a Miracle Whip, because why bother if you're not plant-based? It's not about that. It's about making choices that taste so good. You've created a sandwich without labels. You don't have to be vegan to have vegan mayo. You can put vegan mayo with your eggs. It doesn't matter. So we're taking food. We are doing our best to eliminate, should that be our choice, mine and your choice, things like lunch meat and highly processed foods really limit them. But then we're still making the best choices we can with other foods. And instead of, overloading on egg yolks, because I agree, Yas, eggs are good for you. The right kind of eggs are good for you, but it doesn't mean you need to have 20 egg yolks in one sitting. You're getting your egg yolks the healthy way in your pasture-raised eggs. But a lot of the males, I don't think they got pasture-raised egg yolks in there. So I love that you were able to recreate such a comforting sandwich in, a way that really boosts health benefits. And, for me, my other suggestions for everybody that I didn't mention here, what I always do, open your bread, do a little sprinkle of ground flax, do a little sprinkle of hemp hearts. These are things that you won't taste, but that are going to take your nutrition from here to here. And we want to make sure that every time you eat, why don't you want to make it as good as possible? So I do actually have flax and hemp in here. It's just ingrained in my head. I put it in things. So something that you can add in the future to your awesome, amazing sandwich.
Yeah, I'm totally going to start doing that. Because that's pretty easy.
Really easy. So thanks for sharing your sandwich with me. Listen, I'm in one of those moods right now where I'm just so hungry that I want everything. So it's going to be really hard for me to decide on what we're going to talk about next week. So can we do a wild card? Can we just say we're going to each come with one of our top favorite comfort foods?
Oh my God, that sounds like so much fun. Yes, I'm in.
Okay. That makes me excited. So next time, next dinner, wild card it. It will be a surprise for both of us. We won't tell each other, and come with one of your faves, comfort foods. Sound good?
Perfect. I'm so in and so excited. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your sandwich with me. Thank you for having dinner with me. As always, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
And we will see you next week.
Next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.